Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Elsa. I am a yoga teacher and a clinical psychologist, and I currently live and teach yoga in Sri Lanka. And I've decided to be practically useful and tell you guys, especially yoga teachers watching me, how I found the job in Sri Lanka, why Sri Lanka, and how you can do that as well, and also what to get ready to if you are planning to move to Sri Lanka. So, most of my career, I was actually working in Southeast Asia, mostly in the Maldives, but also I had some work in Bali and in Thailand. So, this region is pretty familiar for me. And so, when I decided to come back to Southeast Asia, I chose Sri Lanka because it's very visa friendly. It's a relatively cheap country to travel to and to live in, and obviously ocean surfing. I really wanted to surf, so that was like the main reason why I chose Sri Lanka. And it's been 7 months I'm here, and I'm very happy with the decision. So how did I find the job in Sri Lanka? I've been here before as a tourist, as a traveler, and I knew that I want to go to the south coast, and I knew I wanted to teach for a yoga camp. Basically, you can find two types of job here. You can either work as an in-house yoga teacher for surf and yoga camps. There are plenty of those here in Sri Lanka. Or you can be a freelance teacher and teach for the studios in the area and maybe bring your own yoga retreats. But my attempt to do one failed. I hope yours will be better. Maybe I'll try one next year. I don't know. So I've chosen to be a resident yoga teacher because that's what's familiar for me. I was a resident yoga teacher back to the Maldives, so I'm like, okay, let me choose this route. And how I chose the place to work at, I just opened Google Maps, opened the south coast in Sri Lanka, zoomed in, found all the camps and like surfing yoga places in the area that look like a camp that's selling packages like come stay with us for a week doing surfing and yoga. And then I found their websites or Instagram pages or emails, and I just spammed them. I just spammed my CV saying like, hey, I'm Elsa, I'm so and so amazing, I work here and here, and I'd like to come back to Sri Lanka for a season. If you need a teacher, I'm here, I'm your girl. And that worked. I had several replies. I think in total I applied for like 10 or 12 places, not too many. And I think I got like 3 or 4 replies, 2 offers, and I just chose the best one. Yeah, so that was relatively easy. I know there are certain Facebook groups in Sri Lanka, but I'm from Russia. We don't really use Facebook. You can search for that too. But honestly, social media and just spamming people never failed me. This is how I found a job in the Maldives. That's how I found gigs in Thailand. So feel free to use and abuse that. But there is a catch to work in Sri Lanka. Right now, it's almost impossible for a foreigner to work legally, even if you work for like a very big company that used to issue residential visas. Now with new government, it's like very wishy-washy. I've heard so many stories of like people being asked out of the country despite having a resident visa and then having problems to come back to the country. And so most of the yoga teachers I know here, and actually most of the people I know here, come here with the tourist visa and have somewhat a volunteering contract. I actually have a contract that says I'm a volunteer. And so if you want to travel to Sri Lanka and if you want to work in Sri Lanka, please expect that you have to pay for your own ticket and pay for your own visa. So that's an expense you have to keep in mind. And right now in 2025, there is no problem working like this in here. So yeah, I know in Thailand that wouldn't work. In Bali, it would probably not work. But here, rules and regulations allow that for the moment. Also, Sri Lanka is not a very rich country. The quality of life for the locals here is pretty low. So don't expect European or even like Russian, I'm talking St. Petersburg, Moscow salaries in Sri Lanka. And as a yoga teacher, especially if you are a new yoga teacher, don't really expect to be paid. Most of the volunteering jobs here mean that you will have accommodation, you will have meals provided. If you're working for a surf camp, most probably you will have surfboards provided, and maybe even you have a right to attend surf lessons. In my case, that's all I have to do. Teaching yoga is all I have to do. And I also have a percentage of anyone who wants to join yoga from the outside who doesn't have a surf and yoga package included in their stay. So that's kind of a opportunity to earn money. But to be honest, the money you earn, I don't promote much, let's be real, but it's like $100 to $300 per month you can earn this way. Most of the volunteers I know, especially the younger specialist volunteers who just finished their yoga teacher training, or maybe like on the first or second year of teaching, they do something else for the camp. So for example, they help out in a restaurant, or they help out with guest relations, or they help out with social media. So it's like multifaceted job. But what I wanted to say is that it's not very sustainable to be a full-time yoga teacher for the camp here. It's better to have either savings or some other job on the side. In my case, I'm a psychologist, I'm a psychotherapist, so I work online and I teach yoga here. How to get a job for you? Minimum requirement is to have 200 hours teacher training. And honestly, what I even see in the area, you don't have to teach for a long time. You can literally finish your studies like 1 month before that, and you can already apply. Have a social media presence that tells people that you're a yoga teacher. Have a positive attitude. While emailing to the camps, tell them exact dates where you're available, because this is very easy. That's easier for the camp, and you have more chance to be replied to. And what else? And just kind of know your worth, because I negotiated a lot before coming here, and now I also help out with the emails of the camp, but I'm doing it for extra pay, because I was like, I'm gonna be teaching yoga and that's it. I'm not paid to do anything else, so I'm not gonna do anything else. But I've been teaching for almost 7 years, so my expertise allows me to be cocky, I think. um, I lost the train of thought. Basically, know your worth, know your value. Don't feel like yoga is nothing, and don't find yourself in a situation where you haven't negotiated anything and you end up working 8 hours in a restaurant and then teaching yoga, and then people still asking you to do more and you're not getting paid. You're only spending your own money. Define your responsibilities before coming here. But even if you cannot find the job online and you really want to come to Sri Lanka, and like you already have your tickets, you already have your traveling plans, and still no reply from the camps, don't get discouraged. Again, there are many options to live uh, pretty cheaply here. Like you can find a room for like $200 a month, and then just walking around the area, coming to the camp saying like, hey, I'm a yoga teacher, do you need one? Hey, I'm a yoga teacher, do you need one? Most of the camps and most of the actual places, they do. Even if the place is not like a surf and yoga camp, restaurants provide yoga, small guest houses provide yoga. So even if you are in Sri Lanka already and you don't have any job offer, be proactive. I know how it feels to go place to place to offer your services. But here in the area, yoga is something that like everyone is doing, everybody wants to do, and it is relatively easy to find some kind of job. Maybe not, like get enough money to live freely and like not worry about rent and food, but still some money to somewhat sustain yourself is possible to make even if you are on site. Me personally, I haven't taught in any of the other schools or places here, but I had offers. Again, just stepping into community, you can find so much possibilities here because people in Sri Lanka, locals and travelers and expats who live here are amazing, and especially expat community all help each other out, and so you will not find yourself completely jobless, penniless. No, you will not. And so, yes, if you wanted to try working in Sri Lanka, but you were always like hesitant, or that's like your first Asian country to work at, or I don't know, you have imposter syndrome. Everyone has imposter syndrome. Just act like you don't have it for these 5 minutes when you email, or these 10 minutes when you go to the camp and actually introduce yourself in person. Sri Lanka is relatively safe, friendly. Again, the weather is angelic, the ocean is magnificent. If you want to have an experience to be a traveling yoga teacher, that's one of the best places I can recommend. I've been here for 7+ months, and I'll probably be back next season. If you have any more questions, please leave them down below. I'll be happy to help. And yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope this was useful. Thank you. Bye.